All right, so let's dive into something a little unsettling today. Imagine like a world where your computer isn't just a tool, you know, but an active participant, like making decisions
Yeah.
and taking actions all on its own.
Yeah, sounds like we're heading straight into a sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, right. Well, it's closer to reality than you think.
It really is. We're talking about Microsoft's Large Action Model, or LAM. It's not just another AI assistant, offering suggestions. This thing actually takes charge.
Okay, so paint a picture for me.
hmm
What exactly can LAM do?
Think of any complex task on your computer, like analyzing data in Excel, formatting it in a Word document, sending emails to your team. LAM can handle all of that seamlessly without you lifting a finger.
So it's like having a digital ghostwriter
Yeah.
who also happens to be a tech whiz.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
impressive and a little unnerving.
It really is. The article we're looking at digs into that unsettling aspect. It highlights how LAM isn't just following instructions, it's actually problem solving. The training data is massive, over 76,000 different scenarios.
Oh, 76,000 scenarios.
So that means LAM is constantly learning and refining its methods.
So it's not just doing what it's told. It's figuring out how to do things better, potentially even better than we can.
That's the question, isn't it? And it's where things start to get a little spooky. The article points out that LAM's ability to learn and evolve could eventually lead to its surpassing human ingenuity.
Okay, so we're not just automating tasks. We're potentially creating an AI that can outthink us.
Mhm.
Officially intrigued and maybe a little terrified. Tell me more about how this whole thing works.
So LAM relies on a system called UFO to interact with your computer.
UFO.
Think of UFO as the eyes and hands of LAM. It allows LAM to scan your screen, identify elements, and execute commands.
So UFO. That's a pretty loaded acronym given what we're talking about. So it's not just suggesting things anymore. It's actually doing them. Clicking, typing without any human input.
Exactly. And that raises a whole host of concerns, which the article explores in detail.
Such as, lay it on me. What kind of risks are we talking about here?
Well, for starters, there's a potential for errors. Even with all that training data, LAM could misinterpret a command. Imagine it deleting a crucial file or sending confidential information to the wrong person.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've
Yeah.
definitely done that myself. Accidentally hit reply all on an email I probably shouldn't have. But I'm guessing the consequences are a bit higher when it's an AI making the mistake.
Exactly. We're talking about an AI that can operate at a speed and scale that we can't even comprehend. A small error by LAM in a critical system like finance or healthcare could have a domino effect, causing major problems that are hard to undo.
Oh, yeah, the butterfly effect. A tiny flap of wings in one place can cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. Except in this case, the butterfly is a super intelligent AI with access to our bank accounts and medical records.
It's a sobering thought, and it leads to another crucial question that the article brings up: accountability. Who's responsible when an AI makes decisions with significant impact? The developer, the user, the AI itself.
Right, like if my self-driving car crashes, who's at fault? It's a legal and ethical gray area. So we've got a potentially super intelligent AI that can act autonomously, but we haven't even figured out who's responsible when things go wrong.
Yeah, and it gets even more complex when you consider that Microsoft is planning to integrate LAM across all platforms.
Right.
macOS mobile devices, you name it.
So it's not just our computers that might be secretly plotting against us. It's our phones, tablets, maybe even our smart refrigerators.
Exactly.
Okay, now you're really starting to freak me out. But before we spiral into full-blown AI paranoia, let's unpack this a bit more.
Absolutely. There's a lot to consider here, both in terms of the risks and the potential benefits. And that's what we'll explore further when we come back. For the next part of our deep dive into LAM, and as unsettling as those errors might be, think about what happens when LAM falls into the wrong hands. This article paints a pretty vivid picture of how hackers could use it, for malicious purposes.
Okay, so lay it on me. Worst case scenario here. We talking global financial meltdown robots taking over the world? Or something even more sinister?
Maybe not robots. But the article does mention the potential for LAM to manipulate financial systems, steal sensitive data, or even shut down critical infrastructure. And remember, it wouldn't just be limited to individual computers, but entire networks, all controlled by LAM.
So we're talking about a super intelligent AI that could potentially crash the stock market, leak government secrets, or even cause widespread blackouts. Yeah, that's definitely nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it's a chilling thought, no doubt. But it's not just hackers we need to worry about. The article also mentions how governments could exploit LAM for surveillance purposes.
Wait, so Big Brother could be watching us through our own computers. I mean, we all know our devices collect data. But this takes it to a whole new level.
Exactly. Imagine an AI constantly monitoring your online activity, your location, your conversations, all without you even knowing it.
Okay, this is starting to feel like a Black Mirror episode. Deep breaths, everyone. So we've got hackers, we've got governments. What else should we be worried about?
Well, it's not just about malicious intent. There's also the issue of unintended consequences. Even with the best intentions, AI can make mistakes. And with a system as complex as LAM, those mistakes could be catastrophic.
Right. It's like that old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So even if the people developing and using LAM are trying to do the right thing, it could still go horribly wrong.
That's the fear. And it brings us back to that question of control. As we rely more and more on AI, are we ceding too much control over our lives? Are we creating a future where machines are making decisions for us, potentially without our best interests in mind?
Okay, so we've covered the potential downsides, but let's be fair here. Surely there are some positives to this whole LAM thing, right?
Absolutely. And the article does touch on that. Imagine a world where mundane tasks are completely automated. Scheduling appointments, filtering emails, managing your finances, all handled by LAM. It could free up our time and energy for things that really matter, like spending time with loved ones or pursuing creative endeavors.
Okay, that actually sounds pretty appealing. A world without endless to-do lists and overflowing inboxes. Sign me up.
Think about the possibilities in industries like healthcare. LAM could analyze medical data. To help doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately, it could assist in developing new treatments or personalizing healthcare plans.
So it's not just about making our lives easier, it's about potentially improving health outcomes and saving lives.
Okay.
Okay, I'm starting to see the other side of the coin here.
Exactly. But even with all these potential benefits, we can't ignore the risks. And that's where the real challenge lies. Finding a way to harness the power of AI like LAM, while mitigating the potential downsides.
It's like walking a tightrope, isn't it? On one side, you have incredible advancements that could benefit humanity in countless ways. On the other side, you have the potential for those same advancements to be used for malicious purposes or to spiral out of control.
And as LAM becomes more sophisticated, that tightrope gets narrower and narrower. We need to be incredibly careful about how we develop and deploy this technology, making sure we have the right safeguards in place.
So where do we go from here? How do we ensure that AI like LAM is used for good and not for evil? What steps can we take to prevent these worst-case scenarios from becoming reality?
Those are some great questions, and ones that we'll definitely be delving into in the final part of our deep dive. Stay tuned because things are about to get even more interesting.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been unpacking Microsoft's large action model LAM, and let's just say it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, from ghostwriters in the machine to potential global meltdowns, this AI is definitely raising a lot of eyebrows.
No kidding. So in the last segment, we left off with this question. How do we ensure LAM is used for good and not for evil? It feels like we're standing at a crossroads, with amazing potential on one side and terrifying risks on the other.
It's a delicate balance, and the article we're looking at suggests a few ways to tip the scales, towards the positive. One key idea is transparency. The more we understand how LAM works, the better equipped we are to identify potential problems and develop solutions.
So it's like lifting the hood and taking a look at the engine,
Yeah.
making sure we understand the nuts and bolts of how this AI is, making decisions.
Precisely. If we can understand the logic behind LAM's actions, we can start to build in safeguards and controls to prevent unintended consequences. It's also crucial to have clear guidelines for how LAM is used, especially in sensitive areas like finance and healthcare.
Right, because we can't just unleash this super intelligent AI into the world
Right.
without any rules or boundaries. That's asking for trouble.
Exactly. We need to establish ethical frameworks for AI development and deployment, making sure that human values are at the forefront. It's also crucial to involve the public in this conversation. The more people understand about AI and its potential impact, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about its future.
So it's not just about the tech wizards and policymakers figuring this out behind closed doors. We all have a stake in this.
Absolutely. The future of AI is going to be shaped by all of us, and the choices we make today will have a profound impact on the kind of world we create tomorrow.
That's a pretty heavy thought. It's like we're not just writing code, we're writing the next chapter of human history. So as we wrap up this deep dive into LAM, what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What should we be doing, thinking, or questioning as we navigate this brave new world of AI?
I think the most important thing is to stay informed. Read about these developments, engage in discussions, ask questions. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to ensure its responsible development and use. And maybe, just maybe, we can steer this technological revolution towards a future where AI truly empowers humanity.
Well said. It's not about fearing the future. It's about shaping it. And that starts with each and every one of us. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.